Okay, so light workers, what is a light worker, right? We're here to make a difference. We're here to heal humanity. We're here to bring more light and love in the world. And sometimes, we just have a big heart, or we're sensitive to energy at times, right? Or we take on more and want to give and want to solve, or we were born with this need to make things better, right? To make things better. And we might have felt like an outcast. We might have felt like we don't belong. We might have felt like we're not from here at times, right? That we're different, and that, for some reason we're just more mature than our time. And sometimes we experience a lot of darkness in the world, and we're like, what's going on, right? And maybe the first part of our lives is really one trauma or suffering after another, and during that time of our lives we're like, what is going on, right? But for some reason we're still here, and we still have the desire and the heart to help, and the want to make a difference. And my message is this, right? Because there's two kinds of light workers, and let me know where you fall here. And this, I've just been really inspired about this, because this is something that I talk about in the workshops a lot, and a lot of people ask me, right? One is like, there are light workers that come here, and I'm talking about light workers. You look back in the past and you look at people that elevate humanity, right? And raise up consciousness, and once they're here, the world's never the same. But the reality is, yes, we always kind of like unify it and make one story, but a lot of people are doing that. You could be a light worker and never know you're a light worker for as long as you live, but you're doing good in the world, right? You are passing on love, you're smiling, you are hugging, you're comforting people, you're giving advice, you're a shoulder to lean on, and by you existing, you raise the frequency and the vibration of Earth, right? Because there are two types of people out here. There are people that, if you look at it, there's the monk that's on top of the mountain, right? That meditates for 10, 20, 30 years. It never talks to anybody. Never interacts. They're just meditating. They're working on their energy, right? And they're helping so much more people than you can ever imagine. More, right? You see these people, like they literally, they're like pure, they're clear. And that's one way you're doing it, right? And there's also, the mom, or the grocery store worker, or just the average everyday person who might not think they're here for a bigger reason or purpose, but their existence is, they have this purity of wanting to help, and wanting to love, and wanting to care, and wanting to solve, and it's there. And that light helps and affects everybody, just like the monk on top of the mountain does. Like, it doesn't have to be, if that's your calling, amazing. You're doing more for the world than most people are, but we can also exist in society as light workers, bringing lightness to darkness. And that is the way it works. And here's the reality. Some light workers come here and they're like, you know what? I want to just experience amazing things and play in the light and live a good life and operate in these emotions. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you might even see them, you might meet them. Light workers that are like floating, they're in high vibration, they're not really experiencing any kind of suffering or trauma seemingly, and they're just playing in the lighter fields. That's one kind of light worker. And there is a role and reason for that, right? And if you're there, love and accept yourself for it. And there's another kind of light worker where we come here and we know that there is darkness. We know that there is a place where it's far detached from love. It's far from light. It's forgotten where it came from, and it's dark. And the emotions are ones that are of lower frequencies, that is of separation and it's division, and it's one to where there's a lot of suffering going on there, right? And it's darkness that has forgotten its light, and it's forgotten its love, right? And we go there because we know we have to bring the light, bring the love, bring a higher level of consciousness in those areas and bring them back to light. And it's by us shining our light that the darkness ceases to exist. and people start to wake up and realizing that they are light, they are love at the core. So what do? We journey there. It's part of our life purpose, our life mission. We go there, and for the first part of our lives, we might forget that we are light because we go into so much darkness. And in order to understand darkness, we experience what darkness experiences in our minds, in our hearts, in our core. We experience it, right? And at times it might be too hard that we might lose faith in humanity and shut off our gifts or protect ourselves, right? Or start thinking that we're darkness because everywhere we look, it's dark. Till one day, something happens, a wake-up call. Maybe it's multiple wake-up calls. Maybe it's rock bottom. Maybe it's loss. Maybe it's abandonment. Maybe it's heartbreak. Maybe it's something that opens your eyes that in the moment doesn't even feel like a gift. It feels devastating, right? But it opens your eyes and it reminds you of your light, of your love, of the depth of care that you have for humanity, right? For people. That yes, you can protect yourself from people, but it doesn't solve the problem. Because in the process of protecting yourself and shutting off your light, right, you've forgotten your nature. And instead of impacting people and making a difference, you're absorbing all of it, right? It's weighing on you mentally, emotionally, physically. And you're like, what now? What now? And you start realizing, you know what? You are light. You are love. You're here to bring light to darkness. You were born that way. And even though you might have turned it off or dimmed it along the way, you wake up and realize this is what I'm here to do. I'm not here to join the darkness. You're not here to join the darkness. I want you to hear me on this one. You're not here to join the darkness. You're there to set it free. You're there to bring light, which is yourself, and to shine it bright. And when you shine your light bright, the darkness around you is illuminated. It's illuminated. It ceases to exist, giving the people around you the opportunity to realize that they are light as well. And at the beginning, they might not like it. When you're bringing light, when you're bringing love, they might not enjoy it because you're shining the light on things that they've shoved under the rug. Maybe themselves, maybe it's generationally, maybe it's ancestrally, shoved under the rug to be forgotten. It's too painful because there's not a lot of love and not a lot of light to deal with it. So when you first come on, there might be a heavy resistance. And you might even doubt yourself, right? But the reality is, the more you stay in your potency, the more you bring the light, the more you bring your love, what's going to end up happening is you're going to reach a certain threshold to where there's no going back. To where just like when you walk in the store and you're in protection mode and there's somebody that's anxious and you feel their energy and then it affects you and it throws you off and you feel anxious and you're like, I'm an empath, right? Great. That person affected you in a negative manner. But guess what? That same thing you can do. You can be in that store and you can be the light and you can be the bright, potent, loving light just by your being, just by working on yourself, just by showing up as your nature. And you go in that store and guess what? You become that one person that affects everybody in a positive way. You become the light. You affect them positively. All of a sudden you're going and you're walking into the world making a difference, lifting everybody up. You're not at the mercy of somebody who is in a bad day because you know if you meet that person, you have so much light that darkness ceases to exist. Because light drives out darkness. It cannot. You go into a room, it's dark, turn on the light, boom. Right? So the brighter you shine your light, the more you impact people and the better you feel about yourself, right? And sometimes it's kind of like a brilliant analogy that one of my dear friends was just talking to me about today, and it really hit me, is that, you know, sometimes we're lions or lionesses and we're around sheeps, and we put sheep's clothing around us and pretending because we want to fit in. We don't want to be too loud. We don't want to be too different. We don't want to, you know, take up space. We want to be judged. We want to be rejected. We don't want to be that one, right? Until we learn that by being our essence, by stepping into that, by allowing ourselves to be seen, we change and impact other people on a deep level, deeper than we can ever imagine. But it's there, and it's deep, and it's never forgotten, right? And we may never see really the effects of our actions in shining your light, but I promise you, it is massive. It is massive. I've heard it so many times, like with people that are the most amazing that I've met in my lifetime, to where they've gone through so much trauma in their life. And some people with that amount of trauma, they buckle, they disappear, they numb, and understandably so. It's painful, I get it. Like, and it's not judgment, I just know that this happens at times. But the ones that have made it through, that I've talked to, and I was like, what's the difference? Is that they've experienced a random act of kindness from somebody earlier on, and it brought their faith in humanity back, knowing that not everybody is one way or another. There are good people. There are good people. Not everyone's here to hurt you, right? And for a child to experience that, it's powerful. You can be that for people. You can be that. It doesn't matter. You don't even have to be a healer. It doesn't have to be your profession. You don't even have to be a coach. You don't even have to be somebody that's proactively going out there with thousands of people that you're teaching. Because science has proven this. Our energy affects other people, even if we don't talk to them. Simple example, like go to a room full of people and try to be super zen and really feeling good before you do, and go to a room full of people that are chaotic and see how it affects your energy. Even if they don't talk to you, because energy interacts with energy. When frequency fields, energetic fields come into contact, there is an exchange happening on the energetic level. So it happens. You're going to affect them, they're going to affect you, right? If they are extreme darkness and you're not shining in your light, you're going to be affected. If you are extreme light, right? And that be extreme light might even just be, you know, you're doing a little bit of self-care, self-love. You're working on yourself. You're loving yourself. You're accepting yourself. You're not judging yourself. And because of that, your frequency is more potent. It's going to affect the other person. If their frequency is darker, it's going to affect them more than they affect you. And that is my message for today. I wanted to come here. I wanted to share it. I know it's like one of the things that maybe some of you guys needed to hear, but you're a light worker. You're attracted to this video because that's who you are at the core. Maybe you've forgotten it along the way. Maybe you've always known, right? But this is the message to step into your light. Start shining a little brighter. It's okay to take up space. It's okay to be you. It's okay to be that person that you've been trying to, you know, I don't want to be too much. I don't want to be too overbearing. You know, I don't want to cause stress. It's okay to do that. Now's the time. There's no better time. And if a huge chapter in your life was darkness and suffering and pain, guess what? There's another chapter, right? All that had happened is preparing you for your purpose work, for what you're about to do. Because sometimes our biggest pain, every suffering you've experienced, it might not make sense in the moment. It might not even make sense now, right? It might make sense 5 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. But everything that you've been through has built the depth of empathy and love and care in you. And it's directly related to the people you're going to help on this planet. It's directly related to your purpose work. It's all gonna come together, preparing you for what you're about to do. Because what if the biggest pain that you are feeling is one of the main reasons why you're here, and is also the biggest pain you're here to solve. And in order to solve it, you've got to understand it. So you have empathy for people who are going through it, and you're fueled. But what if that's the main thing you're here to solve, to heal, to help with people? Okay? Just a food for thought. Because I promise you, some of the best people that have made a difference in life, they've gone through a lot of sufferings and a lot of darkness earlier on. And it's never too late. All of a sudden it all clicks, and then boom, you're here, you're serving, you're loving, you're helping. Maybe it's your friend, maybe it's your family member, maybe it's you. But what I've realized is that even if all you did was work on you, like the monks did, that are up there 10, 20 hours a week, or 20 hours a day, meditating for 20 years. Okay, 20 years. And they never talk to anybody, they just work on themselves. They're healing the world. Because everything outside of you, guess what? In a holographic universe, it's all inside of you as well. Everything outside is within. So as you heal yourself, you heal others, and you also heal the world. And it happens not sequentially, it happens simultaneously. It happens. So even if you're only working on you, you'll never know the depths of the ripple effect that you create on this planet, the people that you reach, the butterfly effect that happens across the world, because you chose to love yourself, to care for yourself, to heal, to help, to shine your light, to step into your purpose work. I hope this hits a chord, right? And I really, this is one of the things that I'm, seemingly more passionate than normal, because a lot of energy is going through me, because I've heard this over and over and over and over and over again from lots of light workers from all over the world who have experienced pain and suffering, and I get it. There's chapter 1, now there's the next chapter, and it's going to be amazing. Not everything's going to be like the past. It is learning, it is clues, and now is a great place to be like, what do we do with that? How can we help people with that? How can we move humanity with that? How can we raise consciousness with that? Because our goal is to bring more love and more light in the world. It doesn't matter how we do it. The monk on top, the person that's smiling and giving love, and just sending positive energies in the grocery store. The mom that's just loving on her kid and understanding unconditionally and pouring love. The co-worker that's listening to grievances and really just being a helping hand and showing and extending kindness and care when you didn't have to, right? It doesn't matter how we do it, but we can live a life every day bringing more light and love in the world, and it doesn't have to look a certain way. You just have to do you. Follow your heart, shine your light, be 1% better than you were every single day. Or if some days you feel like, take a rest, that's okay too, right? And that's what I have to share with you guys today. So if you enjoyed this, share it with a friend who you think needs to hear it, will make a difference. But this is one of the things that I just wanted to share with all light workers and light beings all over the world, right? The world needs us now more than ever, as you guys can tell with what's been going on. But we were born for this. We came equipped. We have everything we need. Now it's just time for us to remember all of that. All right, that's about it. Thanks so much for joining me here. I love you all, and remember, when you heal yourself, you heal others,